Hello, hello, White Oak community. Welcome to our TK second grade reopening webinar. I'm Layla Jordan, principal of White Oak, if I don't know you. We're gonna have Karen Kimball here, but lo and behold, me and webinars don't get along too well. And for some reason, we couldn't get her video up. So she's watching from home. I hope I'm able to answer all of your questions throughout this webinar. So we will get started. I'm going to share my screen with everyone, share the PowerPoint that we have put together. And I look forward to telling you all about all the things that we have going on here at White Oak as we open up on Monday, November 9th. We are so excited to have you come back. As you can see, the front of our school, we have arrows, we have dots, we have signage everywhere, and we just cannot wait to see the students. I'm so excited to see them all. Our teachers are excited, our classified staff is excited. We've been counting down until this day. So a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over how we've been preparing for our return to campus. We're going to go over the drop-off and pickup procedures specific to White Oak. And we're going to talk about all the student supports that we have in place. As you can see, they're just from a couple of pictures. Those stairs are right in front of the office. They're directional, up one side, down the other. And then there's dots on the courtyard, which we'll get to later. That's going to help out with our student dismissal. There's Francisco and Ron, Mr. Ruelas and Mr. Wright, our plant manager and nighttime custodian, who have been working so hard on maintaining, keeping our campuses clean, safe, and ready for student return. They've been moving furniture, setting up plexiglass, making sure that all the PPE is in the classrooms for both the teachers and the students, and making sure that we are ready to go. So, some things I know a lot of you have been asking. The AM/PM schedule cohorts will be released tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll send out an email that you'll be able to log into both Aries and Parent Square, and you'll be able to see which cohort you're in. You will also be receiving an email from your teacher, which will just welcome you to the AM cohort or PM cohort. As you guys know, you were asked whether or not you preferred, if PM was an option that you would prefer. And those, most of them, we were able to allow for PM preferences. The only cases where it got a little tough was, as you know, we have 3 splits. We have the TK split, the first and second grade split, and the 2-3 split. And to maximize the teacher's time with the certain grade levels, we had to make the splits either an AM or a PM. So for example, TK AM, Kinder PM. So if you were a TKer that may have chosen PM, we may not have made that, we wouldn't have been able to make that happen because we want to keep the grade levels together. After that, we did a random sorting process and classes were put together in either AM or PM. And cohort changes will not be able to be made. The kids will be great. The teachers are super excited to see them. And we were also able to keep the siblings together, which is awesome. We're so unique. So when I was writing this, because a lot of principals are talking, we're doing Friday and Saturday walkthroughs. We're obviously the only campus that doesn't have a gate around our school. So I'm sure many of you have been here and have seen all the great things that have been put on our campus to make it safe, to keep students spaced apart. But we will have Friday and Saturday walkthroughs. I will be here some of the time on Saturday. I'll be here on Friday as well. Miss Chris, who's an IA campus supervisor, she'll be helping to do the health screening at the front of the school. So this is very important. And one of the reasons that we're asking that everyone comes through the front of the school to get checked before coming in is because that's going to have to be our standard practice. I know it's really hard for our White Oak community. First Neighborhood is right there. It's so easy to walk across the lawn, and it's something we've gotten so used to over the years. But for safety and making sure that everyone is screened properly, that we have everything that we need for students and temperatures are taken, we are asking that all families, even if you're coming from the back, you just walk around and you head to the front of the school. Again, this is just an opportunity to show your child their class. You won't be going inside the class. Teachers are setting up. We also want to keep it safe and sanitized for their arrival on Monday. But you can show them where their classroom is. Take a walk on over to our playgrounds, first and second over there. Kinder and TK you'll be able to see as well. Kinder and TK is pretty separated, but we did draw some extra lines for zoning, which I'll get into a little bit later when we talk about movement breaks. feel free to walk around, look at all the cool little things that we have put on campus, the 6 feet markers apart, the arrows, and the zones, and get your child familiar with White Oak. Now we're going to go into drop-off and pickup procedures. As you can see, the front of our school has 6 feet marks, and again, that courtyard picture, which we'll get into in a little bit, which will help with our dismissal. First things first, you wake up in the morning, say, how's it going to your child, and you fill out the health screening form. So when you go onto the Parent Square app, this is what you should see, an orange line at the bottom with the daily health screening. You will click on that, and it'll take you over to this page where it will ask you some questions. You'll fill out the questionnaire for your child and click submit. You will get a confirmation page that says your child's name and yes with a green check mark next to it, indicating that you filled out your health screening form. We really need to approach this reopening as a whole community. White Oak is known for this. We are a community school, one of the things that I love about us. It's so important that we work together during this time. So please check your child's temperature each morning and do the health screening each morning on Parent Square. If your child's not feeling well, it's super important that you keep them home. I know it's tough. My daughter was sick over a month ago, and she had a slight fever. I stayed home, kept my son home, and called the doctor up. Turns out it was just roseola. I've never been so excited to see a rash before on my child. It was totally fine. We are good, and I was able to come back to work. But it's one of those things that we just want to make sure we keep our children home if they're not feeling well. Should your child become ill at school, it's going to be important that they are immediately picked up. Some parents may be returning back to offices. So if you're unable to get here within a reasonable amount of time, we just ask that somebody on your emergency contact list that is local can come and pick them up. When you are arriving in the morning, when you are going through the drop-off line, you will be able to show the confirmation page that you filled out on Parent Square. If somebody else is taking your child, let's say mom fills it out and dad takes them to school, make sure you screenshot and send that to dad so they can just flash that you have the confirmation so that you've done the healthcare screener. If you did not complete the screener prior to arrival, we will unfortunately have to ask you to keep the movement of traffic going. We'll ask you to go around the loop and park somewhere, fill it out, and then come back in line. I know it's a hassle. Give us a call if you're having a difficult time in the morning or beforehand. We'd be happy to walk you through it. Practice now, it's totally fine. But that's just something that we're gonna need to do to ensure that the flow of traffic keeps moving. So we have some drop-offs, and we do have some flexibility in the drop-offs. We do, for our TK and kindergartners, we're gonna ask that you drop off in the kindergarten loop, which is the staff parking lot right in front. And then if you're in 1st or 2nd grade, please utilize the loop right in front of the NPR. Older siblings may be dropped off with younger siblings. If you have a 2nd grader and you want them to help the kindergartner make sure that they get to class, or at least they walk and know which way they're going, please don't hesitate to drop them off at the kinder loop. We're totally fine with that. And it helps save some time for you as well. When students arrive, please make sure that the students are wearing a mask or a face covering. The mask or face covering must cover the nose and mouth, and it can only be removed for eating. We'll go over this in a little bit when we discuss the movement breaks. Students will actually go straight to their classes. In front of their classes, there are dots that are placed 6 feet apart. So if there's a handful of them that are out there, they'll stand on the dots as they're being greeted by the teacher into their classroom. Unfortunately, parents are not allowed on campus. So if you think your little one may have a struggle getting out of the car on Monday, just because of transition, it's something new, they're feeling nervous, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you with that. We'll help walk your child to class, make sure that they feel safe, and make sure that they're okay to start their day. Please grant us grace. We're going to be closing our offices during both arrival and dismissal to help maximize our staff support at drop-off and pickup. So between the times of about 7:55 to 8:15 in the morning, and then from 10:40 to 11, the office will be closed. Feel free to leave us messages. Ms. DePippo and Ms. Volpe always return those messages. And then between the hours of 12 o'clock and about 12:25, and then 2:50 to 3 o'clock, please give us that time to help assist with dismissal. As soon as you pull up, the students will have their temperature taken. They'll get out of the car. We also have a thermal scanner that they'll walk by, and they'll walk to their class on their own and meet with their teachers. We have plenty of campus supervisors, plenty of IAs. Our office staff is helping. I'm out there. We will make sure your little one gets to where they need to go. Our bell schedule start time is you can start dropping off at 8 o'clock, and the schedule is 8 o'clock to 10:40. Start time in class, doors close at 8:15, and then cohort B, 12:10 to 2:50. The start time for the class is 12:25. When the students arrive, they'll go straight into the class. They may have morning work, afternoon work, start day work, finish up work from the previous day. So that's what they'll be doing as other students arrive. These are just some of our classrooms. Shout out to our teachers who have worked so hard to set up their classrooms. They are so excited for the students to come back, and they really are trying to get them all set up so that they feel warm, they feel like they're ready to go, while maintaining appropriate social distance and keeping all the safety measures in place. Here's a couple other classrooms that are set up. As you can see, different desk configurations. They're either lined up, some of them may be facing different ways, and some of them are like in a community circle. A couple outdoor spaces I wanted to highlight here. As you can see in that top picture, we do have the playground zoned off some areas. And when we discuss movement breaks, I'll explain how each class will have an opportunity to play in a different zone on a different day, and that will be their assigned zone for the day. That bottom picture is just one of our water filler stations. We did have multiple additional water filler stations put onto our water fountains, and we have closed off water fountains. So as you can see, it's taped up. They can't press it. Mr. Ruelas and Mr. Wright check those every day to make sure that the tape hasn't been taken off. When students get into the class, they'll sanitize their hands and go right to their assigned seat. As I said, desks are arranged 6 feet apart, and students will maintain distancing at all times. Just like the beginning of the school year. That first week, we're going to be working on setting up our rules, our procedures, our protocols, and getting and building that classroom community. So the teachers will go over that with all of the students once they arrive. Students will have a movement break for 15 minutes throughout their day with designated play equipment in a designated area of campus. Students are able to eat the snack that they brought. We do have dots painted on the benches that are 6 feet apart. We also have dots painted 6 feet apart if they'd like to sit on the cement, talk with one another, and it will be an opportunity to take off the mask and have a bite to eat. So if you choose, if you know your kiddo gets hungry around that time, feel free to send a snack. There will be no shared items during the school day. It says all supplies will go home with each student. That's really going to be dependent upon the teacher. So as I said, tomorrow when you get the AM, PM cohorts, you'll hear from the teacher. They'll send you kind of a list of what the child will need to bring with them. If they sent home a pencil box at the beginning of school year, they may say, bring back that pencil box. Please, if you lost the pencil box, if something got misplaced, don't worry, we've got you covered. We are working hard. Shout out to our PFC who has been really working hard also to help make sure that we have the right supplies to start the school year. Please only send whatever supplies that the teacher is asking you send with them, and a water bottle. Refillable water bottles, we have the stations. If the child forgets the water bottle, it's okay. We have little cups that we'll be able to give them and they can grab from the refillable water stations. For pickup, please make sure that the student is picked up on schedule. We have painted dots in the courtyard. I'm very happy that they're blue and white. Go Dodgers. Go Lions too, it's our colors. But the dots are for when students get dismissed. They will stand on their lines. We will have campus supervisors in the courtyard, and campus supervisors at the pickup locations. So when you pull up, you will say, I'm here to pick up Johnny Smith. Our campus supervisor at the loop will radio up, we need Johnny Smith sent down to the NPR loop. We will make sure Johnny Smith gets sent down to the NPR loop and goes into the car. TK Kinder, same thing. You'll use the Kinder loop, first and second NPR. You may pick up the younger sibling with the older siblings at the kinder loop, if that works for you. We ask when you have pickup, just make a sign with your last name and the student's grade level on front of the dashboard. It'll make it go so much smoother and more efficient to see your car driving up and be able to make that radio call even before you pull up. Between our cohorts, what's happening? Well, our classrooms and our restrooms and our campus is going to be thoroughly cleaned prior to the arrival of the second cohort of students. Piece of that, we will have the spray that we will be spraying down classrooms with. We also will have our campus supervisors and aides will be helping with wiping down high touch surfaces, and teachers as well, and with desks. So we will make sure the classrooms will be cleaned and sanitized in its entirety before the second cohort comes. Some final notes for you guys. We can't host visitors on campus. This is so hard for me to say because it goes so much against what our community is used to, our morning assembly. But for right now, this is what we have to do, guys, to get through this. We have spent months preparing for this. We're ready. We are ready to have your children here, and we are so excited to have your children here. We've had our special ed students on campus since October 5th, and it's been so incredible to see them. We've been successful in it. It's been wonderful to have kids on campus and feel that school spirit. If you need it at any time, site counselors are available. Mr. Mintz-Floss will be returning to our campus as well. If any students may need to see some one-to-one, he will still have his virtual sessions too. And you can always visit our Community 360 counseling staff. Additionally, I will be sending out their notice on we're changing up morning assembly a bit because it will look a little bit different with students here on campus. And I want to make sure that I'm able to have everyone participate in morning assembly. So stay tuned for that. It will be in the PFC newsletter as well as my Friday letter. Mr. Pippo, Ms. Volpe, and I cannot wait to see you guys Monday. Please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions. As you know, this is a very, very busy time. Please grant us some grace. Please grant us some patience. It may take us a while to get back to you. Once teachers start on campus, I know we're always used to being able to email right away and getting an answer. It's not going to be able to happen like it used to, but we will get back to you. We promise. We're just prepping for kids to come, and we cannot wait to see them. Go Lions. We're here for you. Please reach out with anything you may need. Bye.